Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Farlands or Bust. Spoiler noises have woken us up here for episode. What is this episode? 590. 590, episode 590 of the series here, as we are continuing west in Minecraft beta 1.7.3. That way is east. The sun was just rising over the spider, as it often does. As it often does on a summer's morn. But we're going to head west. How am I doing on... I could probably take a tree while I'm at it. Take a tree, everybody. Take a tree. We're going to head west in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3 here in episode 590 of the series. And this episode, today's episode, is coming out on June 12th. Sunday, June 12th, 2016. No importance to that date whatsoever. So let's just continue onwards and upwards and overwards to those far lands. And you guys, in the meantime, have been continuing to donate to Child's Play charity. Great googly moogly amounts. Great googly moogly amounts indeed, even with the hiatus slowly coming to an end here. We are now up to, the last update we had was when it was in May for last week's episode. This episode is being recorded a bit later, as in Friday, June 10th? Wait a minute, what is the date? Friday, June 10th. Friday, June 10th. It appears as though recording Farlands or Bust on a bi-daily basis is my only basis for knowing the date. But yeah, being recorded just a couple days, so some relevancy being added to today's episode. But yeah, today we are at 57% of the way to our $60,000 goal, raising money for Child's Play charity at farlandsorbust.com. $34,324 raised this season, Season 6. And you can keep doing that at farlandsorbust.com, and I do appreciate the continued, like I said, the continued support there, and on for the series, and on Patreon. I did make a post to Patreon, a Patreon post, you could call it, that obviously the May hiatus is kind of still bleeding. It's bleeding into June here, and I'm just, instead of being like, bam, suddenly 100% back at work, I'm slowly ramping up. So I'm hoping for, and this is a continuation of, at least one Farlands or Bust episode. I needed the boat. I put away the boat instead of placing it down. At least one episode of Farlands or Bust per week. These Sunday episodes seem to be working out. Perhaps more. Perhaps I'll get back into it more throughout the week. But at least one Farlands or Bust episode per week. And then near the end of the month, perhaps the last two Tuesdays. The last two Tuesdays shall be Twitch Tuesdays. Not 100% on that. I am going to... I'll come up with a specific, definite schedule when I can do a live stream here and there ahead of time, just so everybody... It's not one of those impromptu ones. I don't want it to be impromptu. It's got to be scheduled ahead of time. So I'll be doing that, amongst other slowly ramping up things, such as Mindcrack UHC 24, which I think I mentioned in the last episode, but it was that weird future tense, past tense situation I was in then. This is a little bit better, because as of this episode, episode 590 coming out on Sunday, UHC, spoiler alert, yeah, my next, Until the Sun Sets, spoiler alert for UHC 24. Just fast forward to like 11 minutes in and you'll get past it in case you don't want spoilers, but it will have ended. The season will have ended. The sun will have set on UHC 24, and it was an enjoyable experience. I don't know how much of that is because I was away from making videos for a while, so it was really nice to be able to talk with my friends and hang out with the Mindcrack group and play video games in a group setting. I was a little bit more relaxed because I really wasn't... My primary top #1 concern was not creating videos for YouTube, even though I obviously did that, but it was still in the midst of hiatus 2016. I do need some coal, so I'm going to grab this free coal here. I call surface ores free because you don't have to go caving for them. I don't know how actually free they are, but I guess we'll see when our taxes are due. So yeah, UHC 24 is over. Had a good time. You know, people were maybe perhaps a little bit skeptical of the teams. We just do random teams. In case you're not aware, we just let the game randomize the teams. And I got randomized with Dyer, the new Mindcrack winner of the surviving Mindcrack Island, and then Pyro, who I swear I was on a team with before, or perhaps maybe some other game. Maybe we played something. No, but I swear we were on a team before, because I do remember making the Irish joke. We're both Irish. Him far more immediately Irish than removed ancestrally. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did at least a UHC with him before. But anyway, that's beside the point. Yeah, I had a good time. That was a good group, I think. I did like... I was very happy with the amplified terrain. It played a huge role in, I think, all the teams' strategies. Coupled with the very quickly closing in world border, it led to some very interesting little pinch points, I suppose. So that was interesting. The one thing I didn't like was the 0-0, the spawn, well, quote-unquote, the 0-0 spawn point was boring. It was, first of all, it was at the world build height limit, but then it was all flat. Because of that, it would have been much more interesting had the... ooh, I need wool as well. Wool as well. If the 0-0, where we generally agree to and are kind of now forced to meet because of the world borders, it'd be interesting if that was actually part of that terrain where there are multiple levels and you can have high grounds and low grounds and dark spots and caves and stuff, but it didn't work out that way. So yeah, I think that worked out. I think, and I've mentioned this, maybe with Mindcrack UHCs, we don't use any UHC plugins or fancy pants things that maybe a lot of other people do. We just have a lot of like soft rules. Like we don't remove strength 2 potions or regen 2 potions. We just agree not to use them, or we agree not to branch mine. We don't use crazy plugins that remove all hidden ores. We just agree not to branch mine. I think we, like, in certain situations, and it's come up in previous UHCs, I feel like another soft rule that would be worth considering would be no camping at 0-0 or fortress building at 0-0. Especially in the case of this last one, where 0-0 was a very, this is the place, there's nowhere else you can be, and there's nowhere else you can build above it. So it was very... I think more so than, okay, it causes an advantage for the team who gets there first, but it also leads to that sort of stalemate that is incredibly exacerbated by the 1.9 now combat, which is still a thing I think everybody is having a hard time coming to terms with. I mean, it doesn't favor the bold. I mean, imagine I'm going back to old UHCs. Remember UHC Season 3? That first kill that I got on pause, that first very dramatic moment. Imagine that taking place in 1.9, where I'm creeping up into the cave. I have my wolf creeping up into the cave. Pause is shifted. I don't see him. And then we meet, and the drama, and then the end episode, you know... instead of battle, who's gonna die? I'm gonna die. Who's gonna die? Oh, the wolf got him. The wolf. Instead of that, when we see each other, we just raise our shields and then slowly back away. I feel like that's how that would have proceeded had we been playing with the current 1.9 mechanics. You know what I mean? And that doesn't. I don't care how strategically or win-loss MLG Pro. Tactics may be or may not, just for video, for making YouTube entertaining content, That is not good, and I feel like that may still be a problem that us, at least as YouTubers, have. Maybe it's fine and dandy for your Reddit UHC tournaments or whatever, but as YouTubers, that is a very frustrating thing. Which is why I just I said screw all of it and just went Leroy Jenkins into that fortress that was built, because I had no idea how long that stalemate up on 0-0 was taking place. We popped out between two teams. I saw one team in a fortress, the other team behind a bunch of like pillars and built up blockades. And I'm like, how long have these guys been here? Nuts to this. Nuts to this. It's snow raining. Snaining. It's snaining, everybody. Oh, I believe the term is sleet. Sleet. It's sleeting upon us. Neat. It sleets. Let's sleep. And continue in the morning. And a sleetness. That's pretty good. That's pretty good indeed. Ow, that was not pretty good indeed. So yeah, I still maintain my thoughts on the 1.9 combat mechanics. I suppose that will be left to be dealt with and to be gotten used to in future UHC series and other gameplay type situations. I'm a little more used to it, at least the PvE stuff, having played with Dr. Brian Morgan 111 with his Vanilla Swirl maps, which are still things he's making and doing. So that's something I'll be interested in even doing another one of those. So I feel like this season 24 of UHC. Sorry, the spoiler. People who fast-forwarded to that first night sunset, a little bit of spoilage still. I feel like this season has really showed a greater divide between those players who have played 1.9, the PvE at least, versus those who have not, whether or not they had trouble dealing with skeletons, namely, or anticipating the cheaty nature of very tiny mob hitboxes, or their abilities to hit you from 3 blocks away or through blocks, through and under and over and through the corners of edges of blocks, which is definitely stuff that needs to be changed on the game's end. It's not something, well, that's just the way it works now. No, that's definitely broken. So, yeah, I think that's something that this season did. But yeah, like I was beginning to say before it started to sleet, I'm glad that our team, or at least myself, broke that stalemate. I probably still would have done that had I not had the Knot Chapel, but that definitely helped get me in there. I'm thinking afterwards that would have been a really... early on in the season, we found a lot of spawners, and in those spawners, gunpowder. I'm like, oh, we can make a TNT. If I had known that one of the strategies was to build a castle at 0-0, that TNT would have come in handy to blast the gates. That would have been interesting, but alas, it didn't transpire like that. And also, alas, I also had a premonition that I made Frostwalker boots, and I said, these are things that are never going to get used in the rest of the game, and sure enough, I completely forgot that I had them. Not that I think there would have been any tactical advantage. It would have been interesting, again, for video, to suddenly be running across the water, and like if other teams saw that, like, what the heck? Certainly if people didn't realize that Frostwalker was a thing, why is this iceberg running towards me? But yeah, I completely forgot about that, and it was completely nullified anyway, because the battle took place at, like I said, the world height limit. So that was interesting. Yeah, but overall not a bad video-wise and enjoyment-wise UHC. The combat-wise, and still some very, very squeaky, rusty gears to work out of 1.9 combat, definitely still present. Now the spoilers are over, and we are continuing on, and I'm gonna I have a lot of questions. I haven't added to the list any questions that came from donations since the hiatus began. So all of these questions are actually pre-May 6th questions that are on my notepad here for Far Lines Bus. I am speaking, of course, of when you donate to Child's Play charity. at farlandsbus.com. You can ask a question. There's a comment box. If you ask a question there, I will add it to the list and answer it in a future episode of Farlands Bust. If you remember to include your name or how you want me to refer you to as, you can do that in that comment box as well, just because by default, all donations to Child's Play charity are anonymous. I don't even see your email or anything like that. So if you'd like to, leave that also in the comment box, your nickname, your YouTube name, Twitter name, whatever name, and I'll do that. Or you can remain anonymous. It is your choice. You get to choose. Oh, man. But Mary Catherine chose wisely, and with her question here, what bad habit, food or drink, do you consume that you probably should stop eating or drinking? For example, I think I drink too much Diet Coke. I know a few people who like Diet Coke is their thing. Like, that's their jam. I've stopped. I used to drink like a lot of sodas, a lot of Cokes, regular Coke, none of this diet stuff. I ain't on no diet. But the regular Coke, vanilla Coke, root beer, I like cream sodas. Probably up and through the early 20s, the 1920s, no, my early 20s. Going to restaurants, order a Coke, and then have like 3 refills, like that sort of a lot of stuff. I've since, and it's been at least over 6-ish, probably more years, that I've ever even had a Coke or a soda, a sugary, fizzy soda drink of any kind, of any description, since then. And that's a major reduction in sugar intake that I can recommend. So it's not the Cokes anymore. I don't know. Bad habit. I'm thinking of like habits. I eat a lot of potato chips with my lunch that I could probably reduce the amount of salty potato chips. Plain Lay's potato chips. Crisps, for those of you across the pond. I do put sugar in my coffee, so that's another sugary addition that I probably don't need. I probably should kind of suck it up and drink my coffee with a straw. No, suck it up and try to acquire the taste for unsweetened coffee. Because then that's like, there's nothing really theoretically wrong with that, except for maybe the caffeine, that could be viewed, and it's been studied to be good, too. There's zero calories or whatever until you add the sugar. Whoa! What the heck? That was weird. Uh-oh, is my keyboard going? I'm not using it enough? I was strafing, but I was not holding A. Maybe it's possible I'm just not used to the sensitivity of the Cherry MX Cherry Red keys. It's been a while since I've done the WASD thing, so maybe that's it. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I have what I would call habits. I do have the habit of, if there are sweets or chocolates or cookies, gluten-free cookies, instead of just consuming them in moderation, they will be gone very quickly. So that's kind of a problem. I suppose that's more impulse control than it is habit. So I've gotten in the habit of just not having that stuff in my house, but oftentimes they appear in my house against my wishes, and then I must consume them all. So yeah, I don't know that I have anything like that. I'm a very boring eater, and I mentioned this before. I have the same thing. I've kind of reduced my breakfasts to 2 packets of gluten-free oatmeal, instant oatmeal. My lunches are a sandwich, usually ham. Sometimes I'll spice it up a bit and put a little turkey in there. The deli ham, deli turkey. Normal sandwich with your mayo, your cheese, your lettuce, and tomato. And then chips. A big handful of potato chips. All right, we ran into a wall here. Thanks, Wolfie. Diverted. Oh, bleh. And then dinner is where I get the variety. Or it could be anything. It's all up for grabs for dinner. So, but yeah, I don't have any. The specific question was food or drink. And I've gotten out of the habit of getting into habits with that stuff, I guess, other than my normal day-to-day habit of normal food. Does that answer that question? I don't know if that answers that question. Sweet iced tea is something I drink. That's like my drinks these days. Now that I've been off the sodas, and even fruit juices at all, I'm off of as well. I used to drink like orange juice in the morning and stuff, but not anymore. My main liquid consumption is coffee in the morning, water, obviously, and iced tea. Sweetened iced tea, usually. You go to a restaurant, you get an iced tea, and they give you sugar packets that never dissolve because it's cold iced tea. So yeah, those are like the main liquids I put in my body. But yeah, I guess I'm incredibly bland and simple when it comes to that stuff. Jimmy's got a question. Jimmy asks, does Eva shed at all? And if so, how often do you vacuum your house? Not as often as I should, even without a dog. But Eva doesn't shed a lot. One of the attractive things about the Australian cattle dogs is that they have a very short coat. It's a waterproof, weatherproof coat that has like the undercoat and then the top layer that, because they're working dogs, they're outdoor dogs. The water just beads right off like a new coat of wax on your car. But yeah, because of that, they don't actually shed year-round. They only shed once or twice a year. They blow their coats. And that specifically, I think, changes based on whether or not they're male or female and whether or not they're fixed or not as well. It has to do with the hormonal differences of those. But so far, Eva, last year we found out, late May, early June is when she starts to blow her coat. And it happened again, but to a lesser degree. When we first got Eva, she was and perhaps you remember the early video I uploaded on the Kurt Indeed channel, and also early pictures. She was a lot more, quote-unquote, red, orange. Her coat, her outer coat was a lot more orange. But that first June, she blew it all. Oh, hi, ho, ow, oh God. No. Okay, that's fine. Wolfie, you all right? Oh my God, Wolfie took the brunt of that. Oh, wow, he did. All right, enough of coats. Speaking of blowing coats, kablooey. Well, that bed is gone. Good thing I didn't sleep in it. All right. Suddenly, I don't think that's ever happened before. I'm sorry. Let's get Wolfie up to health here. Because that was close. That was really close. Woo, I'm way out of practice. Yep, keep eating. All right, I think you're doing well. I do need emergency bed building. I'm glad I got that sheep that I didn't think I needed, but I did need. All right, let's get this back, and let's do an emergency. Where did that guy even... It's like there's no shade around here. I mean, I guess I was kind of talking too long. All right, let's go to sleep here. Woo, emergency situations. Emergency situations indeed. Yeah, let's sleep. Emergency situations. Whew. Alrighty then. All right. I don't know what happened. I tried to run away. I tried to keep my eye on the creeper and run away. Speaking of which, but then I got stuck on the land, and then I got totally confused and disoriented. Yeah, I see you. I seen it. Wow, that was scary. Thought for sure Wolfie was a goner. I still need more pigs, though. Whew, Wolfie agrees. Man, that was crazy. That was crazy, guys. I don't think that has ever happened. I've had, like, spiders come up or zombies. Even in the last episode, we had a zombie kind of spoil our trying to sleep in an elevated hidey hole, but never have I ever had a creeper completely obliterate an elevated hidey hole that I tried to sleep in. I probably would have been alright if I just stayed on the elevated hidey hole and tried to kill the creeper. Jumping down and trying to run away was my mistake. Oh man, is this right? I am not going the right way at all, actually. Let's backtrack a little bit. Whew, yeah, I got really turned around there. Yikes. Have I been going the wrong way this entire time? I don't think so. We'll have to look back at the tape. No, I wasn't really... Was I? I don't know. Yeah, let's go this way now. All right. Everything's all right. Everything's good. Jeez. Woo! So, where was I? I was talking about Eva and how she used to be more orange, and then she blew her coat. That first June. Hair everywhere and continually everywhere. Really kind of annoying. But then it stopped pretty much. You know, it pretty much wants the hot air. Oh, this is actually a little bit more dangerous. Maybe I won't. That right there is not free coal, my friends, because it would come at a price of potentially falling down to our doom. Yeah, blew her coat and then it stopped. I mean, it was pretty much right when, like I said, the warm weather came. Stopped, but the coat that she blew was that orange coat, and it revealed a much more of what I would consider more of the type of coat that a blue heeler has, which is kind of the black and white speckled merle, if you will. Merle is the dog term for the type of coat, and I kind of anticipated that she would grow that orange coat back in the winter, but perhaps because it isn't technically winter here in Arizona, she never did. So she pretty much remained that way up until this May. It was more May, because it got pretty warm early on this year. It was more May that she did noticeably was shedding. When she'd jump up in the air for her toys, a swath of fur would come like a trail, like a comet. A trail of fur would follow in the direction she flung herself through the air. But not to that degree, and like I said, she never gained that full orange coat back, which I'm fine with. Whatever. And she didn't shed too much this year, which was good. So I guess we'll just have to see. It seems to be a once-a-year deal. Otherwise, it's just kind of here and there shedding. Just, random hairs will show up if you're wearing like a dark shirt or whatever. But it's not like any other dog, particularly fluffy dogs, your labs, your corgis and stuff that I've known that all the time, all year, all the time, shed. So yeah, it's not that big of a deal or a problem here, which is pretty good. And even my mom came and visited, and she is deathly allergic to dogs, and she found that she was actually able to be at the house and hang out with Eva a little bit longer than she normally thought she would have been able to around quote-unquote normal dogs. So perhaps the lack of shedding also reduces the lack of dander. It's the dander that people are mostly allergic to. The protein in the dander, I guess. And also in the, like my mom reacts to the saliva, the dog's saliva. I think that's what ended up getting her, and perhaps where it would have taken just 5 or 10 minutes to get allergic, she, was hanging out for an hour, and then she's like, okay, yeah, this is enough. I've got to get away from this environment. But, yeah, I suppose that's all related. So, yeah, that's in the pro column for a cattle dog, pro, right there, and that is one of the kind of, hey, that's a neat thing, too, so perhaps I will continue to look into this breed of canine companions. Sorry, Wolfie. I don't know about you. You're good at just taking creeper blasts to the body. Oh, man. Where are all the pigs, by the way, Wolfie? Just sniffing out the pigs. See, now here's some free coal. Here's some free coal, he says, as he jumps into an endless chasm. Alexa Way asks, what if you had the ability to create one painting? Like going out, buying a canvas, getting paint and a brush, you sit and you paint, you put paint on your brush, and no matter what you do, the brush strokes will turn into details. So what you're saying is no matter what lack, complete and empty void of any sort of painting or artistic skills I may not possess, I would be able to paint whatever painting I would want to paint, and it would be beautiful. not sure. I did take painting in college, art school. Well, not art school, but art department. So yeah, I took painting. It was mostly like still. And that's kind of my. I kind of yeah. I mean, that's kind of my problem, I guess. I mean, I understand why you start with the basics, but when I signed up for oil painting, I kind of the type of painting and art that Eva, she's all right. Speaking of, in the cons department, rolls around in all your cables and pulls stuff off your desk. What happened? There it is. I need sheep as well. Where are all the animals? I'm not seeing any sheep. I'm not seeing any pigs. What was I saying again? Oh yeah, I did take oil painting. The type of art that I like and enjoy are more abstract art. Your Rothkos, your Picassos, and then even more so to that point, abstract, sort of, yeah, abstract. I'll go with abstract. But, you know, and that's the type of stuff I wanted to experiment painting, and I suppose I could, nothing stopping me now. But in class, we were stuck to, okay, you have to paint this still life, this thing in front of you. You have to paint this. Or there was the figure painting that we had to do also, which is a completely other awkward situation to be in. So yeah, I would just want to, I really like textures of the paint. And that's even something I started to experiment with digital art, is making textures, like textures that you feel like you could feel and stuff. I really like when I do go to art museums or the Art Institute of Chicago, which I haven't been to in a long time, getting as close as you possibly can to the paintings without triggering any alarms, and really just seeing like the depth. Like, I know you see a picture of a painting or you have a poster of a Picasso or whatever, but when you're actually with the actual legit painting, just seeing the amount of paint certain painters use, and like to the point where it itself on the canvas has a texture and depth and casts shadows depending on how it's lit, and even to the point where even with a lot of the old painters, you know, like in Monet or Van Gogh or Manet's paintings, I remember looking up close enough and you can see the little fibers of paintbrush bristles stuck in the paint. And a lot of those, obviously there was no art store that they went to pick up their paintbrushes. They made the paintbrushes themselves. So it's like, hey, there's Van Gogh's bristles of his paintbrush that he built himself to make this painting. You know, like that's kind of stuff that blows my mind, and that's really interesting to me. So yeah, that's the type of thing I'd want to paint. I'm not a huge, I mean, I understand the skill and the artistry and the dedication that goes into like photorealism. I'm more into the impressionistic, the abstract sort of art paintings and whatnots, to be able to fully appreciate. So yeah, I'd want to do that. And yeah, if I ever did have space, perhaps in old age and retirement, I will go back and pick up some oil paints and try my hand at that as a hobby or something. So maybe that. All right, there. What happened? What happened to all the animals? What the heck? All right. Well, that was weird. The creeper explosion scared them all away. Like seriously, we haven't seen any animals since those sheep that we sheared early on in the episode. That I'm glad I did. I have enough for one more bed? We can sleep tonight. And just hope, amongst all hopes, that the sheep are not extinct in this world at these distances. They cannot handle these coordinates in the next episode of Far Lands or Bust. That's really weird. I mean, I think we've had similar things happen before where I'm like, where's all the stuff? Do I have enough? I have enough wood as well. All right. So yeah, thank you to those people for asking those questions well over a month ago. Sorry for the delay. Like I said, I still have quite the list here of questions to get to. Wolfie, no, come over here. It's we've already had a problem before with the creepers. We don't want to tempt fate again. So yeah, I'm gonna get to these other questions as soon as possible, and then once I get through these, I'll start to add questions from those who have donated in my absence during the hiatus, and then we'll be back up and running at full steam ahead. I doth declare, and forthwith make so. So, well, that's right. I can only make one bed, I guess. So there it is. I've got to remember that is the case, and I don't have beds for the next elevated hidey hole. So, woof, yeah, I know. Let's keep that in mind. It's a little bit of a scary scenario. Had I not lost an entire bed, demolished and disintegrated to little pieces, you can see the very cartoonish down feather explosion of like what would happen if you blew up a bed. Oh, man. What an episode, my friends. Episode 590 of the series. Thank you so much for watching. And again, thank you so much for your patience, your participation, and your continued support. And I'm looking forward to more of getting back at it and getting back connected with y'alls. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. It's snaining, everybody.